Hello everybody, this is Ghetto Mozart. We just pulled up to our barn where I had just finished a full mixing build, but it turned out to be over an hour long, so I'd like to do a less than 10-minute recap on this build. I'll have several video links to the hour-long build and like previous builds that pertain to this, but I'm gonna, like I said, try to keep this below 10 minutes and just do a full overview. So yeah, the goal or the object of this barn is to be our only processing station. We want to do an 8 mix for both coke and for meth. Now, like I said, this is on the beta, so check this out. I have whitelisted here all the meth, so only meth unmixed can go into this large storage rack, and only cocaine can go unmixed in here. So that's the first part. Go ahead and get yourself a storage rack under each window there. Now, we've got deliveries. This is how this whole thing works. But let me show you. This is just like a similar video where I had the quote-unquote KitchenAid mixers, the regular mixers. Well, now we're using the MK2 mixers, and this is much faster. But all we're doing in this tab, of course, you want the mixing ingredient. For this example, it's banana. Next one's going to be kook. Next one's going to be paracetamol, on down the line. But this is the important tab. This product for this build has to be the unmixed meth for the first one. For the second mixer, you have to select whatever the name is between the meth and the banana. That name for the product. So in this case, it's called Pink Bud on my world. So we put that on the third one. So Pink Bud plus the kook is what we put in this product tab, which comes out to be Gorilla Crack. Gorilla Crack plus paracetamol comes out to be, I don't think, Stinky Gold. Strawberry Fruit. Now Strawberry Fruit plus gasoline should be Stinky Gold. And so on down the line. We'll go ahead and just put this here. And go ahead and start it just for this demonstration so I can get rid of that. And same thing on the other side. Now this is the left side I have set up for cocaine, and right side for meth. I'm going to go ahead and sleep too, so it's a little bit lighter out. Kingpin 56, we're pretty high up there in levels and rank. Yeah, so I have the whole right side for meth, that's how I was just showing you, and then do the same exact thing on the left side here. Regular cocaine in the first mixer. Cocaine plus banana, whatever that is for you. Mine's Girl Scout cookie. And then on down the line. Now this, in my opinion, it's the most tedious, especially if you have a lot of products unlocked like me. Like, look at all these. It took me a while. I think that's why the walkthrough or the build took so long, is setting up all these filters. But it's definitely worth it. 100% worth it. This is awesome. It'll just run. I'll show you how my handlers are set up, but first let's get these chemists out of the way. The only thing I would suggest with the chemists in this setup is to stagger them. Don't just assign one chemist to all 4 of these, because we're going to be waiting on one chemist for the first 4. So go ahead and just assign even and odd number mixers. So this guy, I'm not sure who I have selected, but they have the second mixer, the 4th, the 6th, and the 8th. Now let's see if we can find the other one here. Nope. Nope, it's gonna be the last one. Oh my gosh, it was the last one. Okay. But I think that was Jeffrey we just selected. He's got the other 4 mixers on this. But the reason being you stagger them is so that two chemists can be working at the same time, rather than one chemist working on all these, waiting. One chemist could be at mixer 1 and the other one being at mixer 2. So it just helps speed up the process just a little bit more. And here's the final output. I've named it Gorilla Death. No, I don't wish any death on gorillas. They're pretty cool creatures. And Bio Donut, can't complain about that name. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the build and the overview. But let's go ahead and do the most complicated part. But I promise it won't be that bad. Is the handlers. Now we have 6 total handlers. The object, let's just go ahead and state the object or the goal for these handlers. We're going to be unloading directly from the loading docks or loading bays directly to the mixing stations. So, that being said, we'll just start with Walter here. Now, if you watch the video, Walter here is a little thief, so we got to keep our eye on him. Let's go ahead and see what his routes are. Now, I would highly suggest. Now, if you watch my video, I didn't do this. I was kind of hopping all around, testing all kinds of stuff. But I would highly suggest setting up one side at a time, because this left side will run by itself, and it's running from loading dock 1. And this right side it will run by itself, and it's running off loading dock 2. So highly would suggest that. That's what I'm going to do in the overview here. So you'll see, since we have 6 handlers, we can set it up any different way. You know, we're going to need 8 total routes per side for the mixers, so it's not going to come out completely even. But here we go with Walter. Oh, that's okay. This is the good Walter here. Walter Garcia is not the thief. This is the thief, I think. Walter Wright. So loading dock 1. I'll stop gabbing and get to the actual thing. And I did exactly what I told you not to do. So, I will need to be tweaking this a little bit, but here's the gist. We'll use Heather for an example here. Heather here has been my handler here for a long time employee, lifelong employee maybe. But Heather here is taken from loading dock 1 to the mixing station 1 right here. So this should just be bananas. Now when this Gas Mart van shows up with the delivery, she'll just take only the bananas, and only the bananas can go into this slot now since we set it up. Pretty cool. Now again, Heather has a few more here. Loading dock 1 to mixer 2. This is Kook. Again, we set up the filter for Kook. But yeah, you kind of just do this all the way down. It looks, you know, from the outside, it looks pretty intimidating, but once you start doing it, you'll see you kind of get into a rhythm or a pattern, and you get it knocked out pretty quick. I think definitely the most tedious and time-consuming part of this is setting the filters. The item filters take a while. But yeah, you just want to set up your handlers for, you know, the whole left side to have loading bay 1 to go to each individual handler. And then do the same thing for the right side. And then I did test this out in the full video. That's why there's a weird van over here. The Gas Mart delivery van kind of shot our van out of the water, or out of the parking lot. But we can park a van or a vehicle full of material, or I'm sorry, full of product here, and they will unload it to, you know, whatever storage rack. So I can demonstrate that. We'll just do a few with my Cheetah here, because it's conveniently parked. I'm gonna have to run somebody over. Sorry, guy. Oh, son of a gun! That was a disaster. Oh no, I think we hit. Okay, that was a disaster. So somebody grabbed a. Okay, nice. Edward is alive, not knocked out, so. Well, what happened? Why didn't he put it on the shelf? I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, I think Edward has... Edward, what are you doing?
Oh,
He just tried to take that right in front of me. This was going so smoothly. Now I'm being investigated. We found another thief. I don't think... Okay, well, apparently that's parked well enough on top of our chemist for him to unload now. Okay, that's great. So yeah, that was all I was trying to show, is that you can whitelist whatever product you're trying to put in here, and that's what I've done. But I've decided, you know, through trial and error through the last video, that we will not be parking our stuff here, because it's kind of a hassle, one, to get it in there, and two, when we have deliveries coming, you'll have to come get the vehicle so it doesn't end up like that van over there. For a while that van was stuck on the fence. Oh my gosh, that poor... Who is this? Out of respect for whoever this is, let's stop putting our vehicle on her. That was not good. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. We'll just finish this up here. That's not good. I think the only thing left to show here is, or left to say here is just when you're making deliveries, I do use both of these gas marks. I'll just do it real quick here. And I'll send one to loading bay 1 and one to loading bay 2. One for the right side, one for the left side. Now I do this to check every time. And I will be making tweaks to these as the actual release of this update comes out. But I just wanted to do some tests here. It's not absolutely perfect. I think we'll be able to think of some more things to do, make it a little bit cleaner. But for now, I'm super happy with this. Like I said, the update, I'm gonna guess, is gonna come out within a week or two, especially because Tyler promised to do voting by the end of May. So what is that? It's the 22nd today. When this releases, I think it'll be the 24th. So about 6 more days. Yeah, about a week, I think. I bet about a week of testing this beta, and it'll be out, I think. Don't hold me to it. There's no set date yet. But yeah, I hope you like this overview. Again, I'll leave a link for the full video. It's over an hour long, but I do have timestamps. If you like those kind of, you know, longer videos, let me know in the comments on that one. But yeah, if you like this overview, like this build, let me know. If you give it a try, let me know how it goes for you. If you have any questions, you know, just leave them in the comments. I try to get to everybody. But thank you for watching today. I hope that the rest of your week goes well, and have a great day.